thing I did with Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yes, please.
So I started working with them from book one. And, you know, there was a point where we had 5 books on the New York Times bestseller list. You know, I mean, the books were really taken off. But what Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield was, they wanted to be household names. It was great that they were making money and they were selling books, but they really wanted to be known. And they're both they're givers, you know, and they really want to give back to the community. So they called me one day and they said, well, we want to do something big, something splashy, but something that does some good for other people. What could we do? I mean, we could write checks, but we want to do more than that. And so I had this crazy idea. I said, well, you know, why don't we call the LA Mission, which feeds the homeless and shelters the homeless, and ask them if on Thanksgiving Day, can we create the world's largest pot of chicken soup? And then you two will go and you will serve it to everybody there, you know, and so you guys will be doing good. And we also made a huge donation. Like when I called the mission, I said, I think it was like $50,000. We're going to write you a check for $50,000. And we want to make the world's largest pot of chicken soup. And we're going to have our own staff serve it, blah, blah, blah. So we did all that. And what happened was the next day, on the front page of USA Today was a big old picture of Mark and Jack with their aprons on serving up chicken soup.
Isn't that amazing? That is incredible. And so, and that's where the name was born.
Well, no, the book already existed. So, but there was a tie-in, you know, we wanted to feed people. Chicken Soup for the Soul are just stories that feed your soul, but they actually wanted to feed real people.
Now the other thing about Jack that I think that you had told me before is that Jack would just do any interview that you gave him.
Yes, Deepak too. In fact, that was one of the unique things about my clients. So the ones that you've all heard of, the really biggest names, what's different about them from authors you've never heard of is that all of them were on a mission. They were mission driven. They would have shared their information regardless if they were being paid for it or not. And they always said yes. Whatever interview I said I want you to do, they never questioned me. They never said, well, why should I do that? Or is that really a good use of my time? They were just a yes. They were highly enthusiastic, energetic. They loved, you know, sharing their wisdom and their information.